They don't know you anymore as much as they think they do. They don't know the type of person that you are becoming or the type of person that you have become. They don't know. When my past partner reached out to me this last weekend, we proceeded to talk and catch up on our lives. And in some ways it was good, in some ways it was bad. But one thing stood out to me as I recall that conversation, or as I think about that conversation. I proceeded to talk about how I'm changing and how I'm doing things that I would never have done before, or doing things that I didn't really think about at the time when I was with them. And one of those things was this tattoo that I got. I showed it to her and she responded with, "It's outside of your comfort zone." And that's a line that's been sticking in my head, and it's because you don't know me anymore. It was outside my comfort zone, but it isn't now. And it made me think that they don't know you anymore. They think that they do, and they might feel like they do know you, but the thing is, they don't. Because here's the thing, this wasn't outside my comfort zone. This was something I've been wanting to get. I've wanted to get a tattoo, but I just never knew of what. And now when I finally did, I went ahead and got it. It was never outside of my comfort zone. It was never something I was scared of getting. It was never something that I was just nervous about. It was something that I knew that if I was going to be decided on something, I will do it. And I did. And me saying that is like, well, that's hypocritical because I think I know them. I think I know that them like the back of my hand. But here's the thing: if they are still the same person, if you can hear from other people that are around them that they are still acting the same, chances are you will know the pattern. You know who they are. You were with them. But let's say you were discarded, you were left behind. You changed. You had to change. You couldn't just be the same person forever. You couldn't because you were hurt. You started looking at yourself in the mirror and hating yourself. So you knew you needed to make a change and you went ahead and went for it. And so when they talk to you again, if they ever talk to you again, they think they know you, but they don't. They really don't. And it's odd because it was only from one sense that it made my mind go, they don't know me. They don't know me. They know a version of me that existed when I was with them. They know a version of me that cared for them, that wanted them. But that version is gone. That version of me is gone because I'm not there anymore. As a matter of fact, the only version that stands right before you is a version of me that's happy where I'm at, that's glad of where I'm going to be going and where I'm headed, and is excited to see what's next. This person that once really loved you, they don't know you anymore because you had to make a change. You had to go do something for yourself, whether that is change your appearance, change your hair, change your clothing, maybe get a tattoo, wear jewelry, accessories, change your tone, your attitude, the way you view things now. Everything had to change because they left you. They discarded you. They chose someone else. They hurt you. And so when they come walking back in, or if they somehow get in contact with you, they're going to assume that they know you, but they don't. They really don't. They only know the version of you that loved them, that was about them, that they hurt. And so they think that you're still that version. But when you finally talk, when you finally show, or the way you start moving, that's when they'll know, wait, that's not the version that I know. That is someone different. And that's not to say that it'll be a completely 180. No, 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 because you will still share those similar traits with the past version of yourself. It's not all going to be 100% 180. You change to someone completely different. No, 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 no. It just means that they won't know the parts of you that are different. They'll know the parts that are still the same, but they're going to be so minuscule or so small compared to the whole big change that you did for yourself. They don't know anything about those sleepless nights that you were up at the gym or working on yourself, making more money so you could dress better, going online and figuring out what tattoo you wanted to get, looking at just art or accessories like jewelry and just thinking about, well, what should I get? Or looking online of what hairstyle would suit you. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know the amount of times that you cried yourself to sleep because you hated yourself. You hated that you were treated the way you were. You hated that now you look at yourself in the mirror and you just feel like maybe it was my hair, maybe it was my face, maybe it was my body, maybe it was the way I dressed, maybe it was the way I spoke, maybe it was the way I looked, maybe it was the way that'll happen. Because it happened to me. I remember it vividly. It was a question that popped up in my head every night after we broke up and while we were still living together. Why? Was it this? Was it that? Was it this? Was it this? Was it this? Was this? And it would just negatively impact me to the point where I just had to get up and say, no, I'm going to change. I'm going to become someone different because this is not who I am. This is not who I'm going to become. I'm not going to be the same person that they met. I'm going to be someone completely different. And I went for that. And so when they came back and they texted me and I showed them and I was like, hey, I got this. They said, well, yeah, that's outside of your comfort zone, kind of shocking. And I asked myself, no, it's not. What? No, it's not. It was, but not anymore. You say it as if I'm still that person. And heck, maybe there is some parts of me that are still the same. The fact that I overshare is probably one of those things. But a lot changes. A lot changes when you get hurt.